I would like to acknowledge that this video is being filmed on the traditional lands of the Wurrundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander or First Nations people who may be watching this video today. Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my 2023 reading spreadsheet for all of you. If you have used my 2022 reading spreadsheet, this one is basically the same. I've updated the dates so that all calculates accurately in the stats, but I haven't really changed anything about the categories. So I'm going to run you guys through exactly what is in the spreadsheet, particularly if you're new and you haven't seen this before. And then I'll also show you a bit of a quick overview of how I completed and filled in my spreadsheet for 2022, just so you can see what it looks like in use. The link to download the spreadsheet will be down below. Please make sure that you're making a copy and then that you're not requesting editing permission for this one, because I won't be granting that, because this is there for people to make a copy of. If I've done my work correctly, the link should indicate that and it will force you to make a copy anyway. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I will not be customizing these for anyone, but you are very free to customize them for yourself. Feel free to change anything up. Feel free to add categories that you would like to track or delete ones that you're not going to use. That's the beauty of a spreadsheet, is that you can take a base one like this and you can customize it. The only thing that I would ask though is that if you do download it and you do use it and share it with other people, please just link back to this original video so that people can find their own original copy of it. Otherwise, have at it. I hope that it's useful for people who like using reading spreadsheets. I find them really useful for tracking all of my content and also for just being a really great record of what I've read in a year. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to cut over to the overview and let you guys see what the 2023 spreadsheet looks like. What we're looking at now is the 2023 reading spreadsheet. So this is what you will see when you make a copy of the spreadsheet as linked down below. The very first page that you'll come to is the read first page, which is just about making sure that you're making a copy and that you're linking back to the original video if you do share this. And then the second tab across is acquisitions. So this is if you like to track what's coming into your library collection, you can do that. You have categories for the date, for title, for author, for readership. And if you click down here, you have the major readership categories. You have format, and again, you have the major format categories. I will show you how you can go in and change those and add to them or adjust them as you need to. And then you have length, same thing, location, how you acquired it. Was it a purchase? Was it a review copy, etc.? Was it new, used, or is it a library book? If you track that sort of thing. Cost, list price, it should calculate the savings for you and whether you have read, reread, DNF'd, currently reading, or have returned it. And then there are some basic book stats over here. I don't tend to use this as much anymore. I tend to just keep a list of what I collect, but I know some people like tracking all of this information. The next tab is the reading log. This is the one that I mostly use on a daily basis. And in fact, I'll show you in my current spreadsheet how I've rearranged these tabs so that it's in order of what I use the most. You start off with a month. Now, some people might go, well, why have you got 3 date categories? The month calculates how many books you've read per month, and then the start and finish date calculate how many pages you've read in that month. So when you click on month, it's just pretty basic months of the year. When you click on start and finish, you should get the calendar dates. Then you can just type in your book title. Then you have status. So are you currently reading it? Is it a reread? Have you read it? Did you DNF it? If you track DNFs in here. There is a space for you to put in series, title, and number if you want to track that. The author, the year category can be used however you like. Some people like to track the year of publication of the book. Some people like to track the year that they acquired that copy of the book, and if they're trying to read through their TBRs. Mostly I use the year for the year the book was published. Then you have publisher. So I personally just prefer now to track traditional and indie, but in the categories section later on, you can go and change this to individual publishers if you want to be that specific. I have done that in the past. These days, I'm just happy differentiating between traditionally published and independently published books. Same thing with Kindle Unlimited. You just have a KU section. Is the KU title that you borrowed out from the service, or is it not? Again, if you don't use KU, you could delete that. Then we have the length of the book. Then you have a spot where you can type in the pages. And as I said, when you put in your start and finish date and the pages, they calculate how many pages were read per month in the summary page. Then there is your rating system, Again, you can change that up however you like. Then you have your readership category, your format, and also genre. So I think I have hit all the major genres, but again, you can add, delete, etc. from what you prefer. Then there is a section here for subgenres. Now, in the one that I personally use, I have modified this slightly, and I'll show you how I've done that. There is author diversity and diversity representation. I use these as note-taking. You could definitely turn them into drop-down menus if you wanted to, but I found that as I'm beginning to read more widely and I'm recognizing the different representations in my books, I find it easier just to take notes and do a find and search later on, because it gives me more space to play around and include more options rather than having, multiple drop down tabs. Okay, then we have protagonists. I like keeping track of character names because I never remember them. I also have a note-taking section for tropes, keywords, and other notes that I want to remember. Again, because I'm filming content about reviewing books, if I know I want to make a video on the grumpy sunshine trope, if I put that in here, I can just do a keyword search and find everything, and it makes it a whole lot easier for me. Because my reading spreadsheet is my one-stop shop for everything, I like to include it in here. The same thing goes for trigger warnings. That could be really useful. It could be content warnings, could be trigger warnings, whatever you want to title it. There is a spot for country. Now, this could be used in two different ways, I suppose. You could do it as in the place the story is set, if that's something that you're tracking, or it could be the place where the author is from. There are only a handful of options in here. Add as many countries as you like to this section. It will populate in here for you. I tend to add to it throughout the year, so it doesn't stay a list of 5 for very long, but this is just a starting point. There's a spot for you to select whether it's a review copy. If you want to participate in readathons, there is a section in the categories for you to type in all the readathons, and then you can have a drop-down menu. And then there's also a spot for the readathon prompt if you want to include that and track that information. So that's basically the reading log. The summary section, if you can't tell I was in here before, has all of your various totals. So you have your pages read, books acquired and books read for the whole year. You have the number of books read and the pages read by month. And then you have a category for audience. You have your star rating. You have your genres read. There is the format. And then there is sort of a visual graph that you can calculate for books by month, pages by month, and books by audience, if that's something you like, if you like the visual. And then if you scroll over, there is a spot for you to type in your favorite reads and your least favorite reads for each month, and then also a graph for the stars. And of course, you can add in whatever tracking stats that you like. This is just a really basic set of them that you can use. I actually don't tend to use this very much anymore, except for maybe tracking how many books and pages I've read per month, and even then I don't track that all the time, but it's useful to know if you'd like. And the final tab is categories. So this is all the drop-down menus. So all you need to do is find the headings for each drop-down menu, and then you can go in and you can add what you like. So Readathons doesn't have anything in it, so you can always go in and add one in. All right, so that is my 2023 spreadsheet. But what I thought I would really quickly show you is what it looks like in practice. So this is my 2022 spreadsheet. As you can see, it's pretty filled in. It goes on for quite a while. I actually moved my reading log to the start because this is the page that I use the most. It's where I track all of my notes, and I use this when I'm creating my filming notes every week. Then I have my acquisitions, and as I said, I did not fill this in very much at all this year. In fact, all I really tracked was the dates and the books, and even then I only started tracking at the start of every month just so I could keep an eye on what was coming in. I did originally have a picture book section because I was planning on doing some more kids' books, but in the end I actually put them in the reading log, so I didn't end up using this. I may or may not add this back in to my 2023 reading spreadsheet. I did just make a really simple recommendations page just for books that I'd heard about. Here is my stats page in use. As I said, if I'm going to look at anything, it's sort of going to be these few things up here. And then there are all the categories. Now, I did say I was going to show you how I customized a couple of things in the actual reading log. So most of it was over here. I ended up with 2 genre drop-down menus. I had my main genre. So this was whatever the main perceived genre for the book was, and then I got to choose one subgenre, because generally speaking, if you're going to have a mix of genres, you're going to have one major one and one minor one. I've found, particularly as I read a lot of romance, but you can change that however you like. I also put in a Steam rating because I am a romance reader, and this just helped keep track of various titles. And then this is how I've included the tropes and keywords, characters and couples. And then I had content warnings and other notes this year in the final category. And then I was originally tracking which books featured in which books beside my bed video, but that didn't last very long either. All right, so that is it. I will leave a link to this template down below so you can download it and make a copy, and you can adjust it however you need to. As I said earlier, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. If you are planning on using this template in 2023, or you're just watching and you want to let me know that you're here, feel free to leave a high five emoji down below, which is just that little hand emoji. That just lets me know that you're here and that you've seen my content. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video.